Hey guys, Avi here from musicalengineering.net. How are you doing today? So this week I wanted to do something a little bit different. We were doing all these tutorials within Logic Pro, and I decided to, instead of continuing with a tutorial this week, I wanted to highlight one of my favorite types of chords to use when I'm writing a song. Because this is musical engineering, and your engineering can be as amazing as the best in the industry, but if your music isn't, or if you're not happy with your music or where your music is, then what does it really matter, you know? So one of my favorite types of chords to use is called a 9 chord. And there are two types. So let's say we're starting in the key of C, okay? Basically, when you have a 9 chord, you are adding the second scale degree at the end, about an octave above the end of the chord. So our normal major chord would sound in C would be C, E, G, C. That's 1, 3, 5, 1. That last one could also be an 8. So if you think about it as an 8, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps in an octave, then if you go one step above that, that would be a 9. That 9 is basically the same thing as a 2, just an octave above. So now when you have a C9, it's written as C and then 9. That means that you have to add the B, which is also the 7th chord, a 7th of the chord. So continuing on from that, if you have a C add 9, that just means you have a C chord, C, E, G, or even just C, E, and then a D above it. So here's an example of a regular C chord. Sounds familiar, right? Just, average C chord. C, this is our home, this is our house, this is our house, yeah. Then we go outside to our G chord. Yeah, the Stewie bit, you guys know. So that's our normal C. But if you take that C, I know, I'm a little out of tune. If you take your pinky and put it on the 3rd fret of the B string, that will be a D. So what you're essentially doing is you're replacing that C that's normally sounding off with the octave and replacing it with a D, which creates a major second. So you have this kind of sound. Now, normally that doesn't sound good, but when you put that on top of a C chord, you get this sound. Ooh, yeah. That sounds gorgeous. So let's hear that one more time. So cool. Now, if you want to hear what a C9 with the 7th, what that sounds like, you can do that in the same position. All you have to do is take your middle finger off of the 2nd fret of the D string. So you have the C and the D right next to each other, just like that. And then you can just leave all of the strings open and it sounds something like this. Now this is a C chord. I know it just sounds like a jumble of notes. There's a lot of chordal huddling. It's a very closed kind of sound. That's because you have that major second in the lower register. If you notice, when you have the C, the major third in the lower register, it sounds, normal. It sounds normal. So yeah, here's a quick example of like an in-song kind of thing of a difference between a C and a C9. Back to D minor. Now we're going to C at 9. Hear that openness? That's personally one of my favorite positions to use an add 9 chord. And that really applies to any position. See, if we're in a C here, we can also just move up to it. And that's just a D add 9. E add 9, E flat add 9, F add 9. That's what's so great about the guitar and about a lot of string instruments, is that once you learn the positions, they're the same positions no matter where you are on the guitar. So basically, once you learn a G major scale, you've actually learned just any major scale, and you can play that absolutely anywhere in the same kind of fingering position. It just depends on what note you're starting on. Yeah. So guys, that's my video on ninth chords. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. Click like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the musicalengineering.net mailing list because there's so much content to come and there's so much already there. And yeah, you guys rock. Woo! Cheers from Mavi at musicalengineering.net. Yeah. Here's a little ditty just for you guys. It's a little riff I've been working on. Just because I love you guys. You guys rule so hard. You guys rule. So cool. Just a quick little tidbit. On my guitar, the G string is always out of tune. Is the G string always out of tune on your guitar? Is there another string that's always out of tune on your guitar? Let me know in the comments. Cheers, guys.